Conostatu and Miltu Gama, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs and another brilliant weekend ahead of Premier Division fixtures. Two absolutely massive clashes at the top of the table, one absolutely massive clash at the bottom of the table, and then there's the rest. It looks like, in terms of vlogging this week, it looks like I'm going to Inchicore to vlog St. Patrick's Day against Shamrock Rovers. I put a vote out to the members: St. Patrick's Day versus Shamrock Rovers or Drogheda United versus Shelbourne, and it looks like Pats and Rovers are going to win that vote. If you'd like to become an Irish Footy Vlogs member, check the link in the description or pinned to the comments. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't subscribed. That'd be excellent, guys. Let's get into this. First up is Bohemians and Cork City at Dalymount Park, and I watched Cork City the other night lose 4-1 at Shamrock Rovers, and they really struggled in that game. Shamrock Rovers were very good, to be fair to them, but Cork City really struggled, and they're missing big players. They're hoping that Greg Bulger might return for this one, hopefully from their point of view as well. Shawnee Maguire will be back in a couple of weeks as well. So I think Tim Clancy did say they could do things an awful lot better. They can still defend better, even though there's players out. They can still do certain things better, and he is right 100%. I do wonder if the team lack a bit of confidence. Any team that's missing key players, they do lack a bit of confidence. You see it all the time, and that could be a reason there. But I suppose Tim Clancy alluded to the fact that they weren't really working hard enough, and they want to put in a performance when they go into Dalymount Park, at least anyway. And from their point of view, hopefully get a result. Bows, from their point of view, their fans will be expecting them to win this game. They won their last home game at home to Sligo Rovers. They'll be expecting a similar result this time out, I believe, as well. And when they won that game, Dawson Devoy and Tierney were brilliant in that game. And you just feel like they have to be brilliant for Bows to really perform and get results, to be honest with you. The balance against Shelbourne I spoke about before, it wasn't right. I think, even though they defended quite well in the game, I don't think the balance was right in terms of going forward and stuff like that. Tierney was on the wing, he's not a winger, etc, in my view. So, Devoy played as 10. In fairness, Devoy can play as a 10, but you need to be able to attack and get the ball into those areas then for him to be very effective, etc. So it's an interesting game, to be fair. I do think Cork, might be a bit of bite from Cork City in this one, particularly after Tim's comments after the defeat at Tallaght Stadium against Shamrock Rovers. But at the same time, Bows at home, Dalymount Park, should be looking to put Cork City to the sword and at least ease in any possible, relegation tensions, I guess. It's obviously the first round as well of the first game of the second round of games as well. So Bows will be looking to start that with 3 points here. And I think they might just do it. It won't be easy, and I do think Cork are going to give it a good go in this game. Cottle O'Sullivan's going to be a key player too, but I'll go for Bohemians 2, Cork City 1. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now at DC Park, Galway United take on Derry City, and we've got 4th in the league against 6th in the league. 5 points between them. Galway United have only lost once so far. Derry City have lost 4 times, and Derry City will be very disappointed the way they lost the game at home to Drogheda United. And discipline has been an issue for Derry City as well, I have to say. Liam Boyce will be out of this game, of course. Mullen, I'm sure, will play up top for this. So that's something they want to improve going into the next set of 9 games, really. Whereas Galway United, they should welcome back, I think, Moses Dyer for this one. He was suspended, so he should be back for this. It was yellow card suspensions. He'd picked up 5 yellow cards, so he should be back for this one. And he gives them a real outlet, strength, pace going forward. He's improving as the season goes on. They had a really good win last time out, didn't they? I watched that game up in the showgrounds against Sligo Rovers, and they'll be confident coming into this game. Derry City are going to have to be up for the battle for a start if they're going to come out of DC Park with anything, to be honest with you. And it's going to be a real test of that for them. Michael Duffy has been obviously their main man this season. He scored 5 goals. He's joint top scorer in the league. And they'll be looking for, I think, goals from other positions in the team, particularly up front, to be honest with you. Liam Boyce has got one, obviously, last time out. Mullen hasn't played many games, hasn't scored yet. Hooben's only got one goal as well. So out of the 8 goals, Duffy scored 5 for them this season. Galway United, we know what they bring to the table. In this one, I'm going to go for Galway United to win. I don't trust Derry City to get a result here. That said, they're probably going to go and win 4-0 at Eamon DC Park. But no, Galway United, I think, I fancy to win this game. Galway United 2, Derry City 0. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, next up, this is the game live in Virgin Media, and it's Drogheda United who are top of the league going into the second round of fixtures against Shells, who are 5th in the league. And the funny thing is about this, it sounds 1st and 5th. 2 points between the sides in the table. I'm just staring at the table right now, and it's brilliant to see 2 points between the top 5 after 9 games. And this is a test, isn't it, for both teams? And both these matches are very intriguing. The Drogheda, Shells game, the Pats Rovers game, but it was a bigger test for both teams. Have only lost 1 game. Drogheda won earlier on the season in the league at Talca Park, and Shells will remember that. Shells have looked more of a unit than in the last few weeks, more of the Shells of last year. Drogheda United will allow Shells to have possession, and that's something Damien Duff has actually talked about, that they've struggled a little bit when teams allowed them to have possession. And they did even against Bows, in a sense, too. They didn't create a half full of chances. They played with greater intensity in the second half, which is why they won the game. Drogheda United would certainly bring intensity to the game, so they'll certainly match Shelbourne for any intensity they might bring to the game. So it's going to be an intriguing game, and they're very confident in what they're doing at the moment. Drogheda United defensively very confident. It's hard to see them conceding 2 goals or more this minute in time, and at the same time you fancy them to get a goal. They're creating maybe 4 or 5 chances at best, good chances in games, and they're taking 2 or 3 of them. That's all you can ask for. And a lot of people say there's similarities between Drogheda United this season and Shelbourne last season. Yeah, a little bit. I can see where they're coming from. Letting teams have the ball and then hitting them hard on the counter-attack. And, that midfield of Drogheda United is very constant this season, isn't it? Pretty much Darren Markey, Farrell in there, and Ryan Brennan, of course. And, it'll be interesting. Shells go what they go with. I don't think Temple will be available. I don't think Barrett will be available. So Kyle, will be back at centre back again. I don't think that's ideal for them. He's done okay, but you're taking him out of a midfield position, which he's very good at, to play in that position. So long term, I don't think it's a solution for them. And be interested to see if they have to keep that up for a greater period of time. But what's interesting about it is both teams are going to set up similarly in terms of systems. The wing-back system, Kane, of course, and Lamb are going to play as the wing-backs for Drogheda United. So I think that's interesting. Norris and Caffrey, who's been really good in that role, are going to play as the wing-backs for Shelbourne. And it'll be interesting to see what Shelbourne do up front. Will they go with Meepo, or will he be dropped to the bench, or will Chapman play, kind of off Boyd? I thought Boyd was a bit isolated the last day, and Boyd works well off people. Chapman maybe could have done better in terms of getting beyond and stuff. He hasn't really done that too often in the matches this season, something he done a lot at Sligo Rovers. So if Boyd is isolated, the Drogheda United defence will eat that up, to be honest with you. 3 at the back as well, the likes of Conor Keeley. And it's a tough one to call. It is a tough one to call, and I think I'm going to sit on the fence in this one. Surprise, surprise, Keith, people are saying. I'm going to go for Drogheda United 1, Shelbourne 1 at Sullivan and Lamb Park. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, in Inchicore, a big Dublin derby, and it's St. Patrick's Athletic against Shamrock Rovers. St. Patrick's unbeaten at home this season. Are they the only team unbeaten at home this season? Shamrock Rovers are also unbeaten at home this season, actually. And that's it, just looking at it there. But yeah, Pat's unbeaten at home this season. This game is in Richmond Park, of course. And, Keane, I think, is a big loss still for Pat's. He gives them an outlet. He's a good goal scorer, and he had an excellent start to the season. He's been out a few weeks and still joint top scorer in 5 goals. Shamrock Rovers, most of their players are fit now. Now, unfortunately for them, Mandrew went off an injury the last day, but in general, most of them are fit. Jack Byrne came back in and gave an exhibition at against Cork City. Will he start? Has he got 2 90 minutes in the week? That'll be interesting to see, because of a game on Monday, of course, against Bows as well. But very solid this season, Rovers looking. Only conceded 6, and the goal they conceded against Cork City was a late goal when they were 4-0 up. Very, very solid. So they are. Look more solid than last year. Don't have the injury concerns in general that they had last year either. They'll go to Inchicore with a lot of confidence. They beat Pats 1-0. What was a cagey game at Tal earlier on the season. Pats and Shells had a relatively cagey game a couple of weeks ago, Richmond as well. So this is going to be an interesting game for Pats. You'd say a point isn't bad for either side, and I'd agree with that. But from a Pats point of view, if the game is there to be won, you'd like to think they'll go and try and win it. Now, it could be a case of you come out of it as a Pats, from a Pats point of view, with a draw and say, look, both teams played well and a draw was fair enough. But I think Pats, some of these games have been a little bit cautious. I do get it, to be honest. And, I can see Rovers being a bit cautious too. So it's going to be an intriguing game at Richmond Park. I really don't see many goals. I have a feeling, if anyone wins it, it's going to be a 1-0. Pats would like to reverse that, of course. But Shamrock Rovers are coming good now. And as I said, they're looking better. They can rotate a couple of their players as well, not due to injury, which is good from their point of view. And, Pats might find it difficult to break them down as well, but they still have to be very wary what Shamrock Rovers can clearly offer going forward too, don't they? Be interesting to see Rovers go up front. Gaffney didn't play in the game on Monday at all, so excuse me, against Cork City. I have a feeling he's been left out for this game, which will be very, very interesting. Chris Forrest has been playing brilliantly for Pats. Jamie Lennon's just back in, so they'll be hoping that Jamie Lennon actually does well. As I said, he's only returned from injury, so they'll be hoping that he does well, basically. But Shamrock Rovers, so many options in midfield as well. Keeley could come back in as well, etc., etc. I also think this is going to be a draw, to be honest with you, and I hate to bore people, and I'm going to vlog the game, so I hope I'm completely wrong. St. Patrick's Leg 0, Shamrock Rovers 0. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, with the RSC, we have a massive game between Waterford FC and Sligo Rovers. Waterford FC are 8th in the league with 9 points. After having a great start, they've lost 5 games in the trot. Sligo Rovers are bottom, of course, with 4 points. They'll be disappointed with that. And, they did a great game on the opening day of the season up in the Showgrounds when the Bit of Red were beaten 3-2 by the Blues. Surely there's goals in this game. Both teams fairly porous at the back. Waterford have conceded 15, Sligo Rovers 21 this season. And Sligo Rovers in particular, I have to say, have been very poor at the back. They've given away the most bad goals I've seen of any team. But they've got options up front. Keane Cavan will be back, but it'll be interesting to see if they go with Eldin up front again or not, because I thought he was really good. He was a bright spark for them against Galway United. Players like Hikiki, really good players, good technical ability, good vision. Will Fitzgerald works extremely hard in the left wing, so they have options going forward. Waterford could do with a bit more going forward, though, I have to say, as well as the fact that they've conceded, goals as well at the back. I think Amond could do with more help. Lonergan seems to have not fallen off, but been left out of side basically. I'm sure they'll play their wing back system. I'm not sure if Andy Boyle will be back for this game, but they could do it more. Sligo Rovers, I don't see a problem. I should say, creating chances in any game against anyone. Waterford, I do. And that's a big, big problem coming into this game for the Blues. Sligo Rovers, do concede bad goals, and you're thinking with someone like Amond around, he could take advantage of that. I do think there'll be goals here. There has to be goals in this game. I just have a weird feeling that Sligo Rovers, and it's just a feeling, are going to win this game. I think the Blues could end up losing 6 in a row here, which would be really tighten up the bottom. But I just see Sligo Rovers, the way they're playing at the moment in terms of going forward compared to the way Waterford are playing going forward. Now, as I said, I mentioned before, Sligo Rovers have conceded most goals in the league. But Waterford as well haven't looked great at the back either. And I just think that might go in the favour of Sligo Rovers. Scoreline wise though, what am I going for? I'll go for Waterford FC 1, Sligo Rovers 2. Let me know what you think in the comments. Guys, that's a wrap for another week. Some fantastic games there, isn't there? There really is. What game are you going to the weekend? Throw us down your predictions as usual. as usual, subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you very much. Bye bye.